So each one of these units, I tried to set it up as the order I did it. So I did vending machines first, and then I did storage units. Now, I started to get the idea of semi-passive income from the candy machines. But you got to keep in mind that that's only like maybe $100, maybe $200 a month. You're definitely not going to get financially free by doing that unless you do a lot of legwork, set up a lot of candy machines. So I kept thinking of other things I could do. Now, I know the property we had that had a lot of space, but there's already a lot of junk in it. So me wanting to be free from this job I was doing, I was willing to do anything. So I would work a hard day's work, 8 hours, sometimes 10. I would come home and I would just start making dump loads, cleaning out the property, organizing it, making little areas and taking pictures. And then once I had the area that I had wanted to build, pretty much done and organized, I started taking pictures and going to different people and seeing if they're interested. Now, I did get a bite on this one, and I got one person to rent it for a roofing tile company. But the other ones, I used the apps to do it because it was a little easier. But the best part about the rental storage units you guys will see is the same as the candy machine. You can still be doing your regular 9 to 5 job while these other ones are paying you monthly or weekly or however you have them set up. So that's the beauty of these first few ones is it's hard to set up in the beginning, but once it's there, it's pretty much done with. You don't have to worry about it too much. And that's the best way to start off with, at least it was for me, because I didn't have the time to worry about all the little things that could be happening in the beginning. So the next ones will be a little different, but these two are the best to start off with, in my opinion.
For our next section, we'll be discussing storage units. Now, storage units are a little different than what we've been doing. There's different advantages and also some disadvantages to them. So this is the first one we started out with. This I rented out through the app Nextdoor, which I'll show you guys. Once you have a tenant in here though, it pretty much takes care of itself. Once they're set up, it can pretty much go on autopilot as long as you're using that app. Now, if you're renting it on your own, like I've done with some of my other units, you'll have to get a rental agreement and you almost have to track them down every month if they're not paying rent, which is one of the downsides with it. But on the plus side, you don't have to maintain it, you don't have to look after it, it's pretty much just there. So like I said, this is the first one. We also have a few boats. We have a storage yard that a roofing contractor uses and another yard that is used by a hot air balloon business. So I'll show you guys those ones just to give you an idea of all the different avenues you can go to. And then we'll show you the app a little later. So with this one, we have just a basic bass boat that is stored here, which I don't mind. They don't look bad. As long as you don't acquire too many of them, they're pretty easy to handle. I usually don't store people's cars or vehicles because it usually makes the property start to look a little trashy after a while. So boats, I'm all right with, one or two of them. And the thing is, when you're renting to people with boats, you're gonna have a way for them to get in and out. Because of course, they're gonna be wanting to use them on the weekends or on holidays. So keep that in mind if you're gonna be doing the boats, that they are gonna be coming and going. Same thing with the other two rentals. But with the storage unit, like the Santander, the first one, you don't really have to worry about that one too much. They'll check on it maybe once or twice a month, but you usually don't get too many people coming and going. So I know this spot doesn't look like much, but this is actually an area that we rent out to a roofing contractor. He stores all of his extra equipment here. So if he has extras from jobs, he stores it here and then resells it later. Or if he has extra ladders or he needs a storage truck, it works out perfect for him. This is actually the second time we've rented this unit to a roofing contractor. The other guy was actually doing tile roofs. So he had a whole bunch of pallets stacked around here with tile all over them. And it worked out good for him in the beginning until later on the prices didn't really make sense anymore because he wasn't getting as much business. So he wound up having to leave. Now, that was all right, and I made sure to have the rental agreement, which came in handy because he had to clean out everything specified in the lease. So make sure to get a short-term lease when you have someone renting on your property. Now, this next guy, it kind of works out good for him because I barely see him. He comes in here maybe 2-3 times a week just to get some things, and then he's in and out. So if you guys want to go this route, just keep in mind you're going to have people coming and going. Any really storage area, they're going to have access to it. You can specify times or limitations that you have, but just keep in mind they are going to have to be coming and going. So I know this one doesn't look like much, but these are a whole bunch of hot air balloons, the trailers, the baskets, pretty much everything. He stores his business here. Now, it's kind of a win-win situation with this because, yes, we get rent from him and he gets his spot, but also if we need one of the trailers to move something, or if we have to make a dump run and we need one of his trailers or to use his truck, he's happy to lend a helping hand. So not only do we get rent from him, but we get a little extra help too. So there's more ways that you can win besides just making money off these rentals. But like I said, the storage units are nice for the fact that you don't really have to maintain anything. As you can see in this one, he just parks his stuff here. It's out of the way and out of the sight of everything. So I don't mind that it looks kind of cluttered with the tarps on it. So keep that in mind whenever you're trying to rent out for storage. Because you got to keep in mind they're going to be storing their equipment there, and it might make your yard look a little bad after a while. So consider that before getting into renting out spots in your backyard.
So here's a quick look at a generic month-to-month rental agreement. Pretty much it has the day that it starts, what the agreed upon amount is for, and a whole bunch of other things that they have to agree to in order to rent your spot. It's always good to have a paper trail when renting to someone, so if you do have to get them off or they haven't paid rent, you have something to fall back on. Alright, so I was wrong in the previous recording. The app I use is actually called Neighbor. If you look for the App Store, it actually has a little house that looks like that. So this is the main page. You can see messages from prospective renters once you posted your area that you have for rent. You can check out your performance, reservations, and then you can see your past listings. So right now we'll go to the unpublished ones. So these ones I actually rented out on my own. After I tried to get this app to rent them out, it does work, but it takes a little while for it to circulate and get to enough people. So if you can do some legwork and get some people to rent it on your own, you're probably better off. So you can see right here, this was that area in the back that the roofing contractor used. This is what I originally had set up for it. And this is an RV storage warehouse out in Yuma. Both these have already been listed off-site, so I didn't really have to use this. And then if you look, the reservation I do have is for that first unit I showed you, which was that gray Sanitainer. And when someone does rent it, it gives you their contact info so you can contact them if you have to. It also lists exactly what is in their storage unit and the potential value they have in case something happens to that storage unit, that they'll be reimbursed from Neighbor for that much. So it's pretty straightforward little system. There's not much to it. It does work, like I said. It just takes a while to get tenants in with this one. I haven't had to evict anybody yet because actually this lady that I have renting my storage unit, she's actually been renting it for about 2 years now. Just steady income, never have to worry about her, and I barely see her, so it works out great. So if you guys are looking for storage, just keep in mind that there's plenty of options, plenty of things you can rent out for storage, different areas, even just yards. But you got to keep in mind that people are going to come and go. Things are going to sit around. It might look junky. So if this avenue isn't for you, or if you just don't got the space, don't worry. There's plenty more other passive incomes coming up.